G'day, guys, and welcome back to the Great Rugby League Podcast. I am your host, as always, Ados the Great. How are you today? All right, well, let's review round number 2. And yeah, look, I had a shocking week of tips. So the week before last, I got 4 out of 8. Last week, I got 3 out of 8. I was thinking to myself, I can't do any worse than 4. Well, I did. So let's talk game by game. And look, I hate Sundays. Sundays, don't get me wrong, look, Thursday and Friday wasn't great for me either. But it's the Sundays. I never get any tips right on the Sunday. I don't know what it is. It's 2 weeks in a row now. I've gotten both games wrong. I don't know what's going on. But let's talk last round. Rabbitohs and Panthers, pretty good game for the most part. 16-10, the Panthers won that one. Look, I thought the Panthers were really, really good. I thought the Rabbitohs' defense was outstanding. Just their attack, they couldn't hold on to the ball. I was extremely disappointed with how they played. So, look, on defense, though, I was over the moon. I thought the Rabbitohs played extremely well on defense, but just in attack was really disappointing. And moving forward, we need to be better. And that's all it comes down to. Panthers were really good. They looked back to their best. So shout out to them. But, yeah, look, I think if we have some, players come back like Jai Arrow, Tavita Tatola, players like that in the middle, we probably get closer to winning that game. We need to hold on to the ball. And it was just stupid. A lot of them were unforced errors, and it was just disappointing to see. So, good win for the Panthers, but Rabbitohs need to be better. All right, next up, Sharks against the Eels. Sharks beating the Eels 30 points to 26. Very entertaining game. It was like 2 tries to the Eels to start, then 2 tries to the Sharks, and then it was like Eels, Sharks, Sharks. I think it was something like that. That's how the game went. It was a very high scoring game, but I tell you what, it was a very entertaining game. I loved it. Thought it was a great game of footy. Jermaine Hopgood, what a bloody superstar he is going to be. Eels couldn't get the job done here. Sharks were too strong, and Sharks deserved this, man. They were very good. Will Kennedy scored a hat-trick, so shout out to him. But, look, I backed the Eels in this one. I thought they'd get the job done. They didn't. Sharkies got the lollies at the end of the day, so good win there for the Sharks. All right, next up, Broncos and Cowboys. I thought the Broncos were phenomenal in this game. I thought they were outstanding. They looked good. Bit disappointing with the Cowboys. The Cowboys looked flat, whereas the Broncos, they wanted this game a lot more, and they ran away with it in the second half. And that's without Corey Oates. Like, Jesse Arthur's a great player, but he's no Corey Oates. So shout out to the Broncos for getting a good win there. They definitely deserved it. Cowboys, they might be in for a decently long year. Look, I still think they make the top 8, but I'm not confident within Cowboys making the top 4 now. I must admit. Roosters and the Warriors. I thought the Warriors were brave in this one. Obviously, I backed the Roosters because I thought the Roosters would win, and they did. But, the Warriors, they were brave in this one, so shout out to them. Their fans should be over the moon with how they played. There's not too much to talk about here. For the Warriors defensively were outstanding. Tohu Harris, what a game from him. Roosters were really good as well. Swali'i played very well. Jackson Barlow played well. Teddy was all right, but still not back to his best yet. So I thought Lindsay Collins up front was really good for them. Wade Egan for the Warriors, outstanding. So, good game for the Warriors. Just couldn't get it done against a top 8 team. All right, next up, we got the Dolphins against the Raiders. Dolphins getting the win. Shout out to them, man. What a win for the Dolphins. I'm not disrespecting the Dolphins anymore. Very proud of them for getting this win. They came out, they played well against the Roosters last week, and now they've done the same thing against the Raiders. 2 quality teams. They've played well. They deserve their respect now. Raiders, they've just looked flat to start the season. I'm sorry, Raiders fans, but you have pretty disappointing way to start, and I think you guys have got a long way to go. I think this is going to be another slow start to a season. But yeah, other than that, Dolphins strong. I thought Jerry Marshall-King had a good game. I thought Hammer was outstanding once again. Tommy Gilbert, like there's so many players that stood up and played well here. I'm liking Sami or Pasami Sali or whatever his name is. I can't remember. Sorry, Solo for the Raiders. It's going to suck when Papali'i comes back because he's been good starting, real good. All right, onto the Bulldogs and Storm. I called it. I told you all. Dogs win, and they did. Bulldogs beat Storm 26-12. Very strong game there from the Doggies. Burton bounced back. I thought Jacob Carraz was outstanding. Man of the match by a long way. Reid Marnie was very good as well. Jerome Hughes was all right on the Storm, but realistically, there wasn't too many plays that stood out to me. For the Storm, I thought the Bulldogs controlled that game pretty well from start to finish, and they deserve their praise. Good win there for the Bulldogs. Disappointing game for Storm. They've got the Titans at Seabus this week. I think that's going to be a very, very good game. All right, next up, we've got the Tigers against the Knights. Bit of controversy coming out of this one. Knights getting the win there. A very narrow win, but win nonetheless. Luke Brooks nearly putting over a field goal at the end of the game, but did miss it, so that would have tied it. But yeah, look, the Tigers have been disappointing, very disappointing to start the season. The Knights, I have engaged them enough to suggest where I think they're going. A lot of injury concerns this week, so that is a bit of a worry for the Newcastle Knights. But Tigers, they were very disappointing. I thought the Knights, with the injuries they had, in that game, I thought they played very bravely and courageously. I think, they deserve their props. But, Tigers, very disappointing, especially with the players they signed. All right, for the Dragons, they got the win 32-18 over the Titans. I thought the Titans were going to get a Cogra and get a really good win here, but they disappointed me. Dragons started off very well, so shout out to them. Ben Hunt was outstanding. Tyrell Sloan was very good. Several players stood up for the Dragons in this one. Blake Laurie was, if Ben Hunt didn't get the man of the match, it had to go to Blake Laurie. He was amazing. Tanner Boyd had a bit of an off game, but that happens. Look at Lockie Ilias. He bounced back after the Dragons beat the Rabbitohs last year. It'll happen. Trust me. Trust in Tanner Boyd because he is the future there at the Titans. But, look, I'm pretty impressed with how the Dragons played. I thought they played very good, very well. But again, Titans fans, look, I understand you're frustrated with Tanner Boyd for not playing the way he did in round one. Don't stress. Honestly, do not stress about it because, again, I'll say it again. Look at Lockie Ilias. Lockie Ilias was he was down and out after that Dragons loss last year. Rabbitohs fans, they were crazy for doing so. I hated them for it, but they called for him to be dropped and Dean Hawkins to come in. I'm so glad they didn't because his confidence has grown immensely since then. So, Titans fans, hold firm on Tanner Boyd because he is going to be your future. All right, guys, that will round out part one of this. Obviously, if you guys have been listening for a while, you know that I merge the two together. So I'll see you when I do my tips and review or preview for next weekend's games. Let's go. Righto, guys, we are back and team lists are out now so we can go over and check it out and preview round 3. So let's jump in and see what they look like. So for Manly, we have Gordon Chan come Tong out, Josh Schuster in. So Gordon was the 18th man, I believe. Schuster comes in now for Cooper Johns. Cooper Johns has moved down into the reserves. I feel like Cooper Johns got a bit hard done by there because he's been playing some good footy, but I understand Manly do want to play Schuster, and that's fair enough. For the Eels, not too many changes at all. It's just pretty much Hayes Dunster, Ofahiki Ogden, Kai Rodwell, and Isaac Lumalume come onto the bench. Other than that, their 1 through to 17 is the same, which surprises me a bit because thought we might see some changes, but it is what it is. So, yeah, look, I think Manly win this one. I think it'll be much more than 12 points, so I am going 1 to 12 in that one. But, yeah, I think Manly get the job done. All right, for the next one, we've got the Knights and the Dolphins. A couple of changes for the Dolphins. We've got Ray Stone returning. Mason Teague drops out of the bench. Stone comes in. I thought that's a bit harsh. I thought Mason Teague was actually really good. I personally probably would have dropped out Kurt Donahue and left Mason Teague in the team. But hey, look, they know more than I do. Cody Nikorima comes into dummy half as well. So a few changes there, but otherwise pretty much the same. Lots of changes for the Knights. So Tyson Gamble comes into 5'8" for Kalen Ponga. Jack Hetherington starts in the number 10 jersey. Leo Thompson comes in to the number 13 jersey. Ryan Rivett, Matt Croker, and Dylan Lucas all join the bench. Outs are Jacob Saifidi, Jaden Brayley, Kalen Ponga, and Tyson Frizzell, which means Phoenix Crossland also comes on and he will play dummy half. In is Ben Talty, Dylan Lucas, Anari Tawala, Greg Marzu, Matt Croker, Oren Keeley, Ryan Rivett, and Thomas Cant. So a lot of players coming in, several players going out as well. So I think Dolphins win this one. I feel like it's at McDonald's Jones Stadium. I think it'll be about a 10-point win for the Dolphins. I don't think they're going to blow out the Knights. So that's my tip there. Roosters, Rabbitohs, both teams getting strong players back to bolster their forward packs. Joe Maria-Hargraves and Victor Radley return. And for the Rabbitohs, they bring in Tavita Totola and Hame Sele. So good inclusions there for both sides. Look, as a Rabbitohs fan, I'm tipping the Rabbitohs to win this one, but I'm not confident in saying that whatsoever. All right, next up, we got the first of Super Saturday, Titans versus Storm. A few changes for both sides, to be honest. Jojo Fafita, which kind of shocked me, is out, as is Sam Verrills. So coming in is Brian Kelly from suspension. Chris Randall also comes in there. And Isaac Fasua-Malawi comes on to the bench as well. So that's massive, man. I'm happy for him. So happy. Jonah Pizzette comes in for Storm. He will play in the number 14 jersey. Storm also welcome back Justin Olam, Cameron Smith, Tariq Sims, don't know why I said Cameron Smith, Tui Kamika, and Xavier Coates. Only player out is Nelson Asafa Solomona. Storm are winning this game. I'm sorry, Titans fans. I'm sorry, VKR. Storm are winning this game. All right. Cowboys and Warriors. Cowboys have had to change the team up a little bit. Tom Chester comes into fullback and Gehamat Shibasaki comes into the centres. Other than that, no changes. The Warriors also have some forced changes. CNK out, replaced by Tane Picky. Butchered that, I know I have. And then we've got Tom Ale, I believe. No? Who's coming onto the bench? So, has to be Tom Ale. Or am I blind? I don't know. I think it's Tom Ale. I think he was the 18th man last week. So I think that is their other change. Look, I think Cowboys should win this game. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. Next up, Broncos against the Dragons. Only change for the Broncos is Jesse Arthurs starts, Corey Oates is out, and not really any changes there for St. George. All the players they've named as ins are on their reserves. We've got the first of the Sunday games, Bulldogs and the Tigers. Right, Bulldogs, Tigers, I don't know why. It looks like they've... So, fullback Dan Laurie is out with a knee injury, so Charlie Staines goes to fullback. Junior Tupou comes onto the wing. Tommy Talau is out due to concussion, replaced by Stafford Toa. Very excited for Stafford Toa. I think he's going to be outstanding. You've also got Isaiah Papali'i, who is suspended. He will be replaced by Asu Kapoa. Sean Bloor also returns to the second row, as does Fanua Bole, who replaces Joe Offahengawi, who has been dropped to the bench. So I think Bulldogs win this and win it well. Second of the Sunday games, we've got the Raiders and the Sharks. Look, Raiders, Atamariotta is out, and in comes Trey Mooney. For the Sharks, no real changes there. They're 1 through to 17 as they were last week. So, I think the Sharks win that one and win it well as well. Let me know, guys, do you agree with my takes? Do you disagree? Let me know your tips down below. Other than that, though, guys, I think this is going to wrap up the podcast. I think this is like episode 11 or 12 or 13. It's one of them. So, appreciate everybody for tuning in once again. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.